This is the 106th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud. And now is a great time, I think, to talk about the 318th Taiku. And why do I say that? There is no 318th Taiku. There are only 317 Taikus in the Babylonian Talmud. So why did I say it's a good time to talk about the 318th Taiku? The 318th Taiku is a concept that I came up with. It's kind of like saying Daf or Daf Aleph in Babylonian Talmud. There is no such thing as Daf Aleph. It always starts on Daf Beis. And so the concept of the 318th Taiku is a good time to talk about it because we are now in this Taiku project. If you've been following along with these Taikus, 106 is exactly a third of 318, and that means that we're a third done. So, and so 106 days. It's like 3 months, and 3 months and 2 weeks, something like that. 10 days, 16 days. Yeah, it's like 3.5 months. And so if we're a third, that means it'll be another 3 months from now until winter, and then from the winter until springtime. So it's a good way of gauging where we are, and it's a good time to talk about 318. It would be really amazing if it was done by 318, March 18th, but I didn't calculate it out, so who knows, but maybe. It was started June 20th, I believe. It's a Friday or a Thursday. It was either Thursday, June 19th, or Friday, June 20th, one or the other, but around there. And today, it is Friday, again, Friday, October the 3rd. So we passed by like 3.5 months since then. And just to gauge this time period would put us at another like 2/3, and then the final third. But what is the concept of 318, the 318th Taiku? The book by Rabbi Aharon Yehoshua Pessin lists 317 Taikus, and the 318th Taiku is a concept I came up with on Yom Kippur out of all days. But the concept to add my own personal questions that are unanswered as my own as part of this Taiku project, because we learned that when Mashiach comes, that our questions will be answered. And this is the 318th Taiku, my own personal Taiku, which I've voiced many times. And if the Mashiach is the ultimate teacher of Torah, why is it, and those who know this tradition will know what I'm talking about, that the word Taiku stands for Tishbi, which refers to Elijah the prophet. Tishbi yatares kushiot vibayot. Tishbi yatares kushis vibayos. That the Tishbite, Elijah the prophet, will answer all of our questions. It goes without saying that Elijah is a great Torah scholar in his own right and knows a tremendous amount of Torah, and you've had stories of great rabbis who've had, as the story goes, visitations from Elijah and taught them things. But why is it that Elijah will answer all the questions? And if the Messiah is the ultimate teacher of Torah, shouldn't it be the Messiah that answers the questions? And I never heard an answer to this I was going to say that was satisfactory, but I haven't heard any answer. And so I'd like to hear an answer. That's my own personal take. That's Taiku 318. And this is Taiku 306, so we're a third of that. There's another Taiku, a personal Taiku that I have, and I think that will be Taiku 319, and the next Taiku that I'll have will be 320. So that way, I'll have a good way of reviewing all the questions, so that if people are able to answer it, I'd be open to your answers. So Taiku 319 is this. There is a tradition, actually it's a statement in the Talmud by Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Kol HaNeviim Kulan, Lo Nisnabu Ela Li'emos HaMashiach, that all of the prophets in their entirety prophesied not except for the coming of Messiah. So that would seem to imply that the coming of Messiah is quite important, wouldn't you say? To say the least. If all the prophets in their entirety prophesied not, but for the coming of Messiah, then it should be one of the most important things. And if you look at the tractates of the Talmud, you'll find a tractate on almost every topic of Torah. You have a tractate that deals with Chol HaMoed, a whole tractate that deals with Chol HaMoed, the intermittent days, what you can do on the intermittent days. It's called Moed Katan, and things like irrigating a field during Chol HaMoed. I mean, really minutia, like minor stuff. Everything from the major laws like Shabbat, Eruvin. You have Mesechtas on all the holidays, of all the subjects of women, of getting married, marriages, women, issues, divorces, all those kinds of things. You have about all the korbanot. You have tractates of regular meat, right, called chulin. All kinds of subjects are addressed. But the most important topic, seemingly, if it says that every prophet prophesied not except for the Messiah, why is there no tractate Mashiach? Shouldn't there be? Should be the biggest tractate, right? I mean, Bava Basra is the biggest tractate. Well, it has the most pages. I don't know if it's in because a lot of the pages are really small because the Rashbam comments on it and takes up a lot of the page. So that's what makes it have so many pages. So I'm not sure if it's in fact the most content, but Tractate Shabbat is there. It's pretty big, 157 or 156. But it's a question, why is there no Tractate Mashiach? Mashiach gets scant coverage in Tractate Sanhedrin in the late 90s, 97, 98, 99, that area. And here and there, little bits, very scant coverage, I'll say. So my personal take is, why is there no Tractate Mashiach in the Talmud Bavli or Yerushalmi or Mishnayos? You have Tractate Uktzin, which I don't even know what it's about. I hopefully I'll get to it one day. Tractate Kalim, Tractate Me'ilah. I mean, pretty much everything that Torah. But okay, I don't want to belabor the point. I think I got the point across. But anyway, this is the 106th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, and it appears in Tractate Gittin, page 44b, according to the Sefer Taiku by Rabbi Aharon Yehoshua Pessin. with the words Boy Rav Yirmiyah. Gittin 44b, Mem Dalet and Beis with the words Boy Rav Yirmiyah. Boy Rav Yirmiyah. Remember in previous one, or recently I was saying that Rav Yirmiyah seems to ask a lot of Taikus. Well, here we have a good example. Here this is Boy Rav Yirmiyah. Boy Rav Yirmiyah, Ben Bavel Shenasa Isha Beret Yisrael V'ichnisa Lo Avadim Mushfachos V'daitu Lachzol Ma'u. Rabbi Yirmiyah raises a dilemma. If there was a resident of Babylonia who married a woman in Eretz Yisrael, and she brought into the marriage slaves and maidservants for him, and he intends to return to Babylonia, then what is the halacha? Is marrying him akin to selling the slaves to her husband? Since he plans to take them out of Eretz Yisrael, will they be emancipated? Let the dilemma be raised according to the one who said, the law is with her. In the event of a divorce, the slaves remain in her possession, and her husband cannot pay her for them in order to maintain possession of them. And let the dilemma be raised according to the one who said, the law is with him, and he may pay her and retain possession of the slaves. Tiboy lemandia baradinima, keven de adinima, kedide damu, odilma keven de mishabde, lerefera, kedide damu. The Gemara explains, let the dilemma be raised according to the one who says that the law is with her, and since the law is with her, the slaves are therefore considered as hers. It is not considered as if she sold them, and consequently they are not emancipated. Or perhaps, since they are liened to the husband for him to keep the profits of the slave's labor, as profits from their labor belong to the husband, like the revenue from other property that a woman brings into the marriage, the slaves are considered as his, and it is as though he purchased her slaves. Kevan dehadin amo. Sorry. V'tivoy laban diamar hadinimo, kevan hadinimo, kidide damu, odinma, kevan delo kanile, legufe, kidide damu, tegu. And let the dilemma be raised according to the one who says, the law is with him, and since the law is with him, the slaves are therefore considered as his, and they should be emancipated. Or perhaps, since the husband did not acquire the slave himself, but only the rights to his labor, the slaves are considered as hers. No answer was found. And the Gemara concludes that the dilemma shall stand unresolved. So this is the 106th Taiku, which is very interesting, that we need to wait until the Messiah comes for this to be answered. But what's interesting is that from the time this question was asked, slaves were a reality. But now, slaves are illegal in most countries, and the trend is for it to be vanquished from the world, God willing. So this probably won't even be relevant by the time the Messiah comes. But some people might think that slavery would come back. And I sure hope it doesn't, because that's not a step up for humanity. It's be a step down. But let's see. This is an interesting thing. It might be there'd be no slaves in the world, but the Messiah or Elijah would answer it saying, if there were slaves, then this would be the law. But anyway, 106 Taiku.